Hey, how we all doing? This is Psycho Smurf and this is round 8 from Barcelona and this is the main race day. We have qualified 6th, so a 151.612, and as you can see it's all a bit manic at the beginning here, and I think that's Rossi's BMW there jumping all over the place, and we're just going to try and get into line side by side here on the start finish straight and see what we can do. So we're just waiting for the lights. And let's go. Okay, down the outside of the Ferrari on this first lap. Trying to keep everything all clean, not overdo it into this first chicane, so we're not diving too much, just inside that BMW. So into the first long right-hander, and we're up to 4th, so 2 positions already. We got a really good drive around that right-hand corner, and it's giving us a chance to get up into 2nd. Braked really late, as you can see. Very, very lucky not to head into the gravel trap, but we managed to hold on to 2nd place. Now it's the case of get the tyres up to temperature and the brakes, try and stay on the track, try not to hit too many curbs, and let's see what we can do with the Porsche in front. So managed to get through there nicely, got up to this right-hander before the back straight, and we got a decent run through here. As you can see, we've actually pulled a bit of gap onto 3rd place. Again, not a bad break into that sharp left-hander. Managed to get a few car lengths onto him, so we're about 2 car lengths behind. And as I said, it's a 30-minute race, so there is no rush. We've got a really good start. We're up into 2nd, so we haven't got to panic now. We've got a decent gap behind us, and again, really nice through that chicane. So if we can get a decent run down this straight, we'll see what we can do. I think we're a bit too far away, but it just depends on what the Porsche does. Okay, I think we can have a go here. Given the Porsche lots of room. Really nice taking in that inside curb, seeing this is literally the first lap. Kept it smooth, not too much throttle, not too wide, but wanting to give us a chance for Porsche not to dive down the inside of us to this next one. And yeah, we've got 2/3 car lengths, so I'm happy with that, and managed to take that corner really nicely. No chance for the Porsche. He's trying to hug the inside line, but we got a decent slingshot down here, slightly defending on this corner. Let's get through this chicane nicely, a bit wide on that one. Now if we can get through this chicane, the right hander onto the back straight, we normally can have a little bit of a gap, which would then give us a bit of release the pressure for the next lap, hopefully. Here we are. Decent run through there. Used quite a bit of a curb, and then down to the braking area. No chance for the Porsche behind us. Sitting in the middle of the circuit just to stop him diving up or any crazy move. I just want to get out of this one. Again, could have run it slightly wider, but the car did slide a little bit, which obviously pulled us in nicely through the chicane. Not worth going crazy. Gives us a run out of here, and hopefully we can then stretch away from the Porsche. So now it's a case of just managing the race, just trying to knock off the laps. We've got, I think, somewhere in the region of 15 minutes before we get to the first pit stop. As I said, there's 3 drivers on this one, so we got 2 changes to do, and fuel on each one, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see how the race goes. Now I'm going to shut up, I'm going to let you watch the race, and all I can say is it's an absolute belter, especially at the end. So I'm going to leave it now. I hope you enjoyed me just giving a small little commentary on this, and enjoy the race. Thanks very much. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you can, leave a comment. If you find that me having a little bit of a talk at the beginning makes it a bit more interesting, I'd really appreciate to see what your views are on that, because obviously this is all totally new to me. So thanks again, and have a good one. Okay, into this last chicane and time to hit the pit stops. So pull over to the right here. We got to drop it down to 50 kilometers, and it's just making sure I can time this right. The Porsche closes massively. They are so good getting into the pits. He's drive through us, which I don't like on this game. I always would want them to stay in position, be a solid car, but hey, that's just one of those things. Now it's a case of getting through the pit stop and see where we come out. Okay, let's go. Let's see where we are. We've managed to stay out in front. Porsche didn't have a very good pit stop, as you can see, he's behind the Ferrari. And now it's a case of being really steady on the first lap outside the pits because tyres are going to be cold. We need them to get up to temperature and activate. So let's just try and stay away from the curbs. Try and defend a little bit if we need to, but let's get those tyres up to temperature. And we got another 15-16 minutes before we got the final pit stop. So it's now a case of, like I say, managing the race and drive sensibly and try not to crumble under the pressure. Enjoy the second part of the race. Okay, we got the final pit stop coming up. Didn't do a really good corner there, lost the back end a bit. Taking it steady through this one, again losing the back end. That back left tyre has really gone off, really slow through there, made a right mess up of that. But we're in the pits, we got a decent enough gap and hoping we should be able to come out in front. Down to 50. Let's get this pit stop over with. As you can see, they've closed up massively. Lost so much time I've built up, but we can only do what we can do. Okay, let's get out of this pits, and we have lost time, big time. We are now in the second place, and this is literally the last lap. Okay, let's see if we can get down the outside of this Ferrari. We have this lap only, so this is it. Okay, we're in front, I think. Oh my god, no, no, no. Okay, I am just so lucky I never ended up spinning completely. We're in second place, so we have really got to just hang it all out now on this last lap. This is crazy. 30 minutes of racing, and it comes down to a maneuver like that. But we just got to hold it together, see if we can work our way up to this Ferrari. I've got half a lap to go now. Okay, got to keep it clean through the chicane, and then we got to do this right-hander the best we've ever done. We always seem to make time up on this one, so we got to get onto this back straight and see if we can dive down to this left-hander. I think it's the only chance. Here we go. No, don't. Oh, break yourself. Okay, we're through. We flipping deserved that. Okay, now we just got to defend like mad. Try not to let this Ferrari slide down the inside of us into this last chicane, and then we got the race. Okay, we're there. Don't mess this last one up, and then get out for the start-finish sign. And what can I say? Absolutely ecstatic to get the win in Barcelona. It's a brilliant circuit. I love it, and especially after that, coming together on literally the last lap. Superb.